very special edition of First Class Second Place. Of course, I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and unfortunately, we're now joined by my lovely co-host, Ashley Zoo. She's celebrating with her husband today. Happy anniversary to you two beautiful people. But we still got a great show for you today. It's a sports show, and I can't think of doing a better sports show than with these gentlemen that I have here. We have U-Go from the U-GoBoy podcast. We have the distinguished gentleman Carlos Villa, and we have none other, last but not least, one of the most iconic voices in sports radio history, none other than the great Joe Beningo.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
All the love and happiness.
Feel like Scott Hall. Survey says.
Yeah. All right, so this is actually the second time you've been here, Carlos,
yes,
and this is obviously the second time for you.
Yeah.
This is the first time for you, Hugo. So
there you go.
We just did your show not too long ago. That was a lot of fun.
That was.
Real quick, plug your podcast real quick for the audience.
My podcast, hence the hat, is the U-GoBoy podcast. We record here at Bravery Studios. Marv's on the boards for that too. He's on the boards tonight. We're coming up on a full year old. We just recorded episode 20, Sports Talk. We did an NFL Draft Super Show. Shout out my boy Mongo, who's also a Jets fan, like all of you gentlemen.
Lucky Mongo.
Love you, buddy. The podcast is growing really well. We just crossed 1 million views on YouTube and TikTok combined. So super excited about the growth, and we're getting there. We're getting
Can we get a Yahtzee by any chance?
Great show, by the way. I listened in.
Yes.
When you were on.
Yahtzee.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it. We also, obviously, Joe, you have not only this legendary sports talk show career, but you also have your own podcast, Oda Pain.
Oda Pain. Mondays and Fridays, the Joe Beningo Oda Pain podcast, which is also on Spotify, by the way.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to checking Hugo's out. I got to see yours, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to send me a link or something.
Yes. We talked about behind the scenes doing a sports talk or maybe a solo one-on-one.
If I'm not mistaken, you now have 169 episodes of Oda Pain.
I have no idea. Like I always tell everybody, people they ask me, how much time do you put in, prepare for shows and stuff?
Right,
I said, all I do is do them. That's it. And,
But you know what? One person that I definitely got to give big props to when it comes to the show is your lovely wife, Terry, because she is she puts up with a lot of you. She's a real MVP. And I think that not just from Joe and Clark, but everybody's favorite part of the show is when a little laughs in the background. I mean, that's like the icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned.
No, she gets she's easy to start laughing. Well, you see here, you guys don't know this, but before every show, right? When I do like the little warm up, I'll do just a testing 1, 2, 3, right before we start. Mm-hmm. I always do a little song. I sing.
Yes.
Okay. Just about every time. I got her I'll do a lot of I'm into a lot of I'm a 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I start losing it after that, but I'm into all of that. Okay, big time, right? And I will start singing whatever, and usually I'll sing songs that she can't stand. I'll sing these songs she really doesn't like, and so that kind of sets the tone for it. So I think that's what gets her rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the go-to song that she hates the most?
Man, I got so many songs. I'll take you one today because she hates it. I'm sure you guys don't know it, but the song is called "Good Morning Starshine." It's probably from about 1968. It's done by this guy Oliver. And it's, it's kind of a dorky song, whatever you want to say, but, bubblegummy type 60s song. But, look, I like a lot of different stuff. And, so I was singing a few verses of it today. It's funny. And I did a couple verses, thought I did a damn good job. And then when we went to play it back, it didn't record it. How about that?
That's the worst.
The happiest person was my wife.
Of course.
She was freaking thrilled. She didn't have to hear it again. And then she says to me today, she goes, I got to thank you, my darling. She goes, I've had that damn song in my head all day because of you. So
I love it.
But I got a lot of stuff I do. A lot of stuff.
I do remember the last episode you put out. You said that if you didn't have the career that you had, if you had to choose one career that you would really love to do, it would be a singer.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. No question about it. And I'm Italian, and you got all the great Italian singers. I didn't make it. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. Tony Bennett, Frankie Valli. We could go on. There's many of them over the years. Beningo did not make it. But I try. I don't care. I try anyway.
It's correction. You made it, just not in singing.
Not in singing.
For sure.
But I do sing. I have no qualms about singing, and even if I make a complete ass out of myself.
I think one of my favorite moments at the live podcast at Hackensack Brewing Company, shout out to Mike Jones, is when Kim Jones was coming through and you just started singing Mrs. Jones.
Oh, me and Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
We got a thing going on. on. We both know it's wrong, but it's much too strong to let it go now. I'll stop now. We meet every day at the same cafe, 6:30.
Let's get a standing ovation for that, Marv.
She'll be there.
That's applause for that,
I'm
dude.
done.
That's
Better than
applause
me,
for
Joe.
I'm
that.
done. See, this is the kind of thing I do to my wife. See, now you know.
That's love.
There you go. I mean, she puts up with it. Billy Paul, by the way.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the crux of this episode. So obviously we got big sports fans up in here right now. So we got a Cowboys fan. The rest of us are Jets fans, long-suffering Jets fans, I might add, especially this gentleman to my right. But I guess we'll start there. I mean, to me, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the main four of sports, football has got to be king. So I guess we'll start there.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think that there's any big headline in the NFL offseason there right now than the acquisition of Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. I mean, so I got to ask you about this, Joe, because I know that when we finally got him, you said that it kind of lost its luster because it took so long to happen. But I got to ask you this, because of all these interviews that he's been doing and showing out at MSG with the Rangers and the Knicks and everything, has that restored any of the luster back into you?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm very excited. How could I not be? We finally got a real quarterback.
Right.
I think the thing that excites me the most about Rodgers, you know, I'm not a big guy when it comes to press conferences. You know, what is it? It means nothing. But his press conference really, it pumped me up. I mean, he actually wants to be here. I mean, he's embracing the fact that he's going to play for the Jets. When he made the statement as he's walking in, you know, in Florham Park, and he's walking into the hallways there, and he sees the Super Bowl III trophy, and when he said, that trophy's getting lonely. Now, he failed to say about the hair that's growing on it because it's so old, but when he said that, that trophy's getting getting lonely, man, that pumped me up. I mean, this guy wants to be. I think Rodgers really realizes how big a deal it would be if he ever won the Super Bowl here with the Jets,
right?
And slayed the dragon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And perfect segue, because there's two things that I really loved about what he's been doing as far as his press tour. One is when he said when one of your ex competitors, they asked him a question about like how does it about slaying the dragon,
right?
And I love his answer. He was like, I don't know about slaying the dragon. It's more like becoming the dragon. I thought that was
that's
awesome.
pretty good too.
Yeah, I thought that was a great.
I didn't hear
answer.
that, but that's a good line. I like that.
Right.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and also I just you know what? I'm just really glad that we just actually have somebody that is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he legitimately wants to be here.
No question.
As opposed to a former Packer who clearly didn't want to be here, and it was just here for a cup of coffee, and it turned into a big disaster.
Well, I mean, look, he wanted to play. I mean, Brett Favre wanted to play for the Vikings. He never wanted to come to the Jets.
Never.
But Green Bay was never trading him directly to Minnesota. Well, he wound up there anyway. And look, I mean, it started out good. He was 8-3. We were rolling. We thought we really were on our way. You know, Eric Mangini was the coach, and then Favre got hurt, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, they finished 9-7. They didn't make the playoffs, and Favre went to Minnesota. Mangini left. And, you know, when you think about it, though, Rex came in, and we got the back-to-back AFC title games. I mean, we had the best years that the Jets have had since the Super Bowl, really.
True.
And do you still believe that Rex Ryan is the best Jets coach since Weeb Eubank?
I think he is. I mean, I think he has to be. I mean, you could talk about Bill Parcells. I mean, you want to bring Parcells up, and, you know, Parcells was... Here's what Parcells did. Look, he was here 3 years. We only made the playoffs 1 year. To me, we should have made the playoffs all 3 years. But what Parcells did was at least restore respectability back in the franchise.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No,
and
that's
then
true.
what happened after that, you know, really we had like really when the best years outside of the Super Bowl year, all right? The first 4 years of, like I like to say, the first 4 years of Namath's career, or I shouldn't say 4, the first 5, from 65 to 69, when Namath was healthy and at the top of his game, you know. But they only won, you know, they won one championship. They only went to the playoffs twice. But really, the glory years of Jet football really starts with Parcells in '97 and then ends somewhere in the Rex era, probably 2010, 2011.
That's where I would choose.
Because how many times did we make the playoffs? We made the playoffs with Herman Edwards 3
Right.
times. We made the playoffs with Mangini once. We had the two times with Rex to the AFC title games. You know, and they were, even the bad years, they were winning years. They were 9-7, whatever they were. So really, that's probably the best run that we've ever had with the Jets.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, for sure. Bill did the same for us. I mean, Jerry Jones ran the organization into the ground after Jimmy Johnson left, and it wasn't until we had 3 straight 5-11 years.
You did,
and that's when Jerry was really running the draft.
Good times.
He was really
But
good
isn't he still
times.
running? Who's running it
No. Now
Who's running it? His son is running it?
No, not his son. Will McClay. Will
Is
McClay.
that who's running it?
Will
Okay.
McClay has been running.
I didn't know. Okay.
That's why we draft well. He's been running the draft since
Well,
2014.
Dallas is good, man. They got a good team. They just haven't been able to get over the hump in the playoffs.
I just think it's the
You know?
coaching. Like I feel like Dallas always has a good team, but the coaches they always fuck it up somehow.
Well, the coordinators.
I thought that cost you this year in the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Well, I did. 2 years ago when you lost to the Niners, that game, there was definitely McCarthy. I thought that was one of the worst.
Oh,
I
my
thought that was
God,
one
I
of the
remember
worst
that.
coach games I've ever seen
And to
by
think-
an NFL coach in the playoffs.
And to think we almost had him, but I would still take him over the
Well,
disaster
what
that
we
was
wound up
Adam Gase.
having.
Oh, absolutely,
course.
absolutely. No, the problem. No, I agree with all of you 3 of your points. It's definitely the coaching. Now, everyone has been like praising Kellen Moore as this like offensive guru or whatnot. He can put up good stats in the regular season, but if your offense doesn't work in the playoffs, you're not a good OC. You're not. And think about it. We were 12-5. Just wet the bed in the playoffs. 12-5 again, wet the bed in the playoffs. So do the players just forget how to play offense in the playoffs, or does the coordinator not know what the hell he's doing against a good defense? That's a problem.
But one of the things in the playoffs too, you got Tony Pollard got hurt in that game. Your number
True.
one running back.
True.
I thought that hurt you a little bit in the play. When they played the Niners, it was the Niners again.
Niners
this
again,
year,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Now, I want to ask you this question.
Sure,
because
sure.
I'm kind of intrigued. So, I actually spent a couple of years down in Florida, especially during my high school years, and I remember everybody hated my guts because I was a Jet fan and a Knicks fan. So, excuse me. So, with that being said, you being in essentially Giant land, how does it feel to be eviscerated, especially during the football season as a Cowboy fan?
Well, I mean, it's not as bad as you think because there's a lot of Cowboy fans in Jersey, a lot, and mainly because of the '90s.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the '90s, I want to say it was probably 60-40, 70-30 Cowboy fans when you think about it, because think about it, the NFC East everyone was good in the '90s, but the Cowboys, they were winning championships. Yeah. And when I was a kid growing up, from age 5 to 10, we were good every year. I was spoiled. So there's a lot of Cowboy fans in Jersey. So when I go to the game every year, I didn't go last year, but I go to the game in MetLife, Cowboys Giants. The stadium is 60-40 or 65-35 Cowboy fans. I'm not even exaggerating.
That's true.
I'm not even exaggerating.
Well, you know what?
We take over that stadium.
Well, let me tell you, you say the '90s, but it goes back even farther than that. You know, it goes back into the '70s.
Staubach?
Because you got to remember, back in the '70s, the Jets and Giants stunk. The Jets didn't have a winning season in the '70s. The Giants didn't make the playoffs in the '70s at all. So the Cowboys were always good. You know, Landry, Staubach, the Doomsday defense. How many times when they go to 5 Super Bowls in the '70s? They wound up winning 2. They lost those 2 to Pittsburgh. The one they should have won against the Colts at the end of the '70s season. If Landry would have played Staubach instead of Craig Morton, they would have won that game.
Right.
But that's really where it starts. And they were on TV all the time. You know, the 4 o'clock, the late window 4 o'clock game was always Dallas. And I think that's how it really cultivated with so many, because you're 100% right what you're saying.
Yeah.
So many Cowboy fans in the New York metropolitan area. And there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's probably as many Cowboy fans as Jet fans.
Agreed. That's a lot.
Probably.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and also you have to keep in mind that there's probably a lot of Jets and Giants that live down in fans that live down in Florida, because a lot of them are retired and they go down there.
True.
I have a buddy who lives in Florida near Tampa, and there's a Jets bar in Tampa.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
for
they
sure,
have them
for
all
sure.
over the country. Even in New York, they got every team's bar, don't they?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think they do, but
Yeah.
they should.
And you know what? They had a Steelers bar over in Patterson on Crooks
Did they?
Ave.
Oh, yeah, I
or was
remember
it
that.
Bengals?
Steelers have
It was
become-
Steelers or Bengals? Maybe the
No,
Bengals.
I think it had to be Steelers.
It had to be Steelers. Steelers fans travel
They
very
do
well.
Well, they're number one.
Very
They
well.
might be number one now. They might be. You talk about the Cowboys being America's team. The Steelers might have surpassed them now.
In terms of popularity,
They
and
might have.
whose team can take over a stadium, definitely the Steelers can, the Cowboys can,
Yeah.
definitely the Packers can.
No
Their
question.
their fans
No
travel.
question.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what stadium you're in. They're going to be waving those terrible towels, and you're going to see
True.
it.
Yes.
And
yes.
one other team too that now is all of a sudden you're seeing it too is the Patriot fans.
Yeah. True.
You know,
true.
now that they've won so much, I mean, now you're seeing these Tom Brady jerseys, or you want to vomit. You know, Julian Edelman, Gronkowski, and all that garbage.
Terrible.
I'd rather write my rear end with that jersey.
Shame on you if you live in Jersey or New York and you're a Patriots
Oh,
fan.
absolutely. I'll live with the guy. I'll live with the guy that's a legitimate fan. The guy that's a Cowboy fan, like you are. The guy that grew up, even if he's from here, right? But you're Dolphins too, because there's a lot of Dolphin fans here too, and God knows we hate hate them. But as long as that's
Equal
always,
opportunist.
as long as that's always been your team, I got no problem about
Yeah.
it. But these people that jumped on the Patriot bandwagon
front runners,
because
front
they're
runners.
winning, or all these girls that go delirious about the Patriots because of Brady when he was there.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, it makes you want to vomit. It does.
Yeah, I've vomited once or twice.
Yeah, I understand. We know.
Yeah. So I guess I want to know from you real quick, Carlos. So now we have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time on our team. What are your expectations for this season? Like, what's the ceiling? What's the floor?
I mean, Super Bowl. I'm not saying Super Bowl or bust, but I think worst case scenario, take the AFC East. It's pretty open. I mean, yeah, we have the Bills, but you saw we could beat the Bills.
Should have played them both times last year.
Right, we should
have won both games.
Right.
If it wasn't for
Mike White getting hurt.
Mike White,
no, CJ Mosley actually.
Well, Mosley too with the offsides on the fourth down play, when everybody knew they were going to
that took the air out of the building as far as I'm concerned.
Killer play.
Big time. But I think they can compete with not only everyone in the AFC East, anyone in the AFC, right? You look at Kansas City, right? Aaron Rodgers versus Mahomes. We'll have a top 4 defense.
Joe Burrow's
Joe Burrow's right up there, man.
No, he is. He's top 3.
Those are the two
3.
best quarterbacks.
Yeah,
But you saw how we played against
right
Cincinnati.
Right.
Mahomes and Burrow are the two top guys
Absolutely.
in my mind.
But
I
why
agree.
can't the Jets make the
No,
AFC Championship Super Bowl?
Bro, look, I said this. To me, here's the number: 13-4, division title, home playoff game. We haven't had a home playoff game since 2002.
Let's
Okay,
go. Yeah.
We've only won.
I was still in high school.
This is the other thing too. Since the merger in 1970, right? The AFL NFL merger in 1970, the Jets have won. Hold on, 2 division championships. 2 since 1970, right?
You can thank Bill for that. You can thank Bill for that.
Well, we won one with Bill, and we won one with Herman Edwards.
Yep.
Those are the only 2 that we've won. And like I said, it's 21 years now since they've been in a home playoff game.
Wow.
So it's time, man.
Yeah, it's past due.
Right past due.
Yeah, well, now let's switch gears here a little bit. So, am I understand you're a Yankee fan as well?
Yes,
right?
yes,
All right, but
yes,
before we get into
yes.
Yankees, let's
Born and
get
bred.
into a little Mets here. So, like,
Okay.
Because the thing is that Yankees, we always have expectations for them. You know, they like to think of themselves as a championship caliber team and so on and so forth. But there was also a lot of expectations for the Mets, especially with Buck Showalter. You got a new owner. You got Justin Verlander. You got Max Scherzer. You got Cookie Carrasco and all these hitters and so on and so forth. But I don't know. You guys are struggling right now, and especially with the being swept by the Tigers.
No, they're in big trouble. I mean, first of all, the starting rotation's in shambles. Max Scherzer, to me, looks shot. I think, we started to see it last year at the end of the year.
Went from
the big
Mad
games
Max to
against
Sad Max.
Right. Last year, the big games against Atlanta and the playoffs against San Diego, he was terrible. The game the other day, 2 nights ago in Detroit, man, he didn't get out of the 4th inning to hit like 3 homers off him, and even the outs where everything was getting hit hard. I mean, David Peterson stinks. He's in the minor leagues now. Carrasco's hurt. You got the other guy they signed, Quintana. He's out. God knows when we're ever going to see him. McGill is Senga's been and we'll see. Verlander, okay, we saw Verlander for the first time yesterday. It wasn't much, 5 innings, gave up a couple home runs, but he settled down. He was only going to be 80 pitches anyway, but the Mets need Verlander to be close to what he was with Houston last year.
Right.
Because if he's not, they're done. They got no rotation, bro. They got no pitching.
Yeah. Right.
They really don't. The starting pitching stink. Right now, as a matter of fact, this is crazy to think. I read this in the paper today. Over the first 32 games of the season, the Mets right now have the worst pitching statistics they've had since the 62 team that won 40 games.
That's bad.
Their initial year in
that's
1962.
bad.
So, and they're not hitting. Let's be honest, too. I mean, if Pete's not hitting, who's hitting right now? Nimmo's a good player. He's been in a slump. I think Marte looks like a different guy. I mean, he's even have trouble. Forget about at the plate. Marte's having trouble getting the fly balls he used to eat up.
Yeah. Right.
You watch him in the outfield. I mean, I'm like, how did he not catch this
like,
ball?
what's going on
He doesn't
with him?
get to the ball. I tell you, the one guy too, the kid Beatty looks good. I think you got something with Beatty. I think Alvarez is slowly starting to come around. The guy we need to hit consistently is Lindor. They're paying him $30 million a year.
All that money,
Absolutely.
Right? $30 million a year. Look, the guy. Here's the thing with Lindor. I give him credit for this. He plays every day, every inning. Plays 160 games a year. He's a tremendous defensive shortstop, no question about it. But he doesn't hit enough, and they need him to hit more than he does. Alonso can't do it alone. They need McNeil to hit. They need Nimmo to hit. It would be nice if Marte hit. What I would do, I'm really concerned about Marte. Maybe I put him on the IL. I bring this kid, Ronnie Mauricio, up, who's been tearing it up down in Syracuse. Let him play second base and move McNeil to right field. And let's see what happens. Let Beatty play third every day. Let Alvarez, you're not going to catch every game, but let Alvarez get the brunt of the catching with Nito backing him up. And let's see what happens. But, if the pitching is going to be what it is, they're shot. Right. They're shot.
Do you think by any chance the suspension that Max Scherzer had because of the sticky stuff, whatever, do you think that's what caused the slump right now, or do you think it's just...
It was coming. Because he's older. Yeah. And it's the same thing with Verlander.
That was one of my biggest concerns.
I got more confidence in Verlander than Scherzer.
I do too, because he's shown it more recently.
I do.
Yeah, but with Scherzer, Scherzer's older, and he's pitched a lot. He's pitched a lot.
Yeah.
You think about even in Washington, they went to the playoffs a bunch of times. They went to the World Series.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of. He's won the World Series. That's a lot of innings logged. So I think it's coming back to roost. And you guys not getting Correa, I think that's coming to roost too. That's coming to roost because you think you guys would have had Correa, Lindor, and Alvarez. And Pete Alonso, Polar Bear, a three-headed monster in the middle of your lineup. Not getting him, that's come back.
Yeah, I don't understand what the deal was with that. I understand that he flunked it. The Giants backed out of the deal, but the guy's playing. I don't see where there's any issues, right? He's playing for Minnesota. He's playing good.
He hasn't missed any time.
I saw him killing the Yankees when he was in when they were in. Come on.
That adds insult to injury because we've always stepped on the neck of the Twins, and now it's kind of butting us in the ass right now.
Yeah. It's just like we're kind of in the same boat too. With injuries.
Well, you know one thing,
ravaged us.
You got Garrett Cole. Right now, Garrett Cole's the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah. True, absolutely. But he can only do so much. He can't pitch every 5 days. We're banking right now on him and Nestor Cortez. Rodon might
tonight, isn't he? Cole pitching tonight?
If not tonight, no, tomorrow. I think tomorrow.
Okay.
I think, but not Rodon.
Playing Tampa, that's right.
We don't even know if Rodon's
last time I checked, they were getting killed 4-0.
Yeah, we're down 4. Yeah, we were down 4-0.
Tampa's on, but we're 26-6. That's crazy, man.
You think Rodon's pitching this year? He might not. He might not.
See, one of the things that people are killing Brian Cashman, especially over the offseason, is that he acquired two good players, but they have a strong history of injuries, and so I'm not surprised by this at all, unfortunately.
He didn't drop the dead weight, and the dead weight was Donaldson, who's hurt, Hicks, who's been useless, and IKF is like a Brock Holt. He's like a Brock Holt. He's like a utility guy, but he has to start now because we just got Bader. We just got Bader back. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just
don't forget Frankie Montas. What a disaster that was.
Yeah, he's on the IL too.
And they got to DFA Hicks or something, man. They
got to eat the money. They got to eat it happens sometimes. Sometimes you just got to eat the contract. You got to eat it.
And now you got Stanton's always hurt.
Yeah.
And now you got Judge hurt. So we ain't going anywhere without him.
No, but you know what? That was just more of like a freak accident more than anything because he slid wrong and it happened.
Right.
All his injuries are kind of freaky. Yeah. If you notice with Judge, he gets hit in the hand, breaks his hand, stuff like that. It's not like pulling hamstrings or stuff like that.
But I still believe
with Giancarlo, I feel like if he farts, he's gonna pull a hammy.
Yeah, his hamstrings. He has no hamstrings anymore.
He's a walking injury.
Yeah, he's too much. He's lifting weights too much in my mind. I mean it. I think that's a big problem.
That's probably it.
Yeah, he's always got a hamstring. He's always got this. There's something with him all the time. It's crazy.
I think he body builds on the side.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm sure he does.
Too much creatine. Too much mental.
Yeah. He's competing somewhere.
But we paid Judge. So I think Judge's best years are ahead of him. That was smart.
Oh, yeah.
That was smart. So,
that's the only thing I'll say to that, bro, is you think we're going to see another 62 home run year from him?
I'm fine with
I don't know about that.
If he's hitting 45 to 50 every year, I'm fine with that. But 62, no, I don't think
we may never see that again.
Yeah, they're not going to pitch to him enough for him at 62.
Well, that's true.
That's the other part. True. Yeah.
Fact.
So
absolutely. So switching gears here now, we just went from football to baseball. Now
seamlessly.
Yeah. Well, this is what pros do, especially to the gentleman to my right here. So.
Absolutely.
So let's not get delirious. What was that? The little buzzer? What was that?
I like that.
We got drops.
Yeah,
we got drops. Shout out to Marv.
Can we get a Yahtzee drop real quick, Marv?
Yahtzee drop. Now, because I'm basically illiterate, what is a Yahtzee drop?
You're about to find out right now.
Okay. So on my show, when I decided to do a podcast, I was like, I gotta have drops. I have to have drops. I have to have a soundboard because, like,
You mean like little in the middle of the show, just little things to pop out
like a DJ, like a DJ,
right, okay.
like does a drop.
Right,
Yeah,
I get it.
So my catchphrase for years, anytime I've been talking to my friends, if something goes well, kind of like Johnny Drama from Entourage, who says victory. Yeah, my thing is like Yahtzee. Awesome. So I recorded.
Did you play a lot of Yahtzee when you were younger?
Me and my brother played a lot of Yahtzee, a lot of Monopoly, a lot of Connect Four, so forth. And then
I see. There you go. That's a drop like that.
Yeah,
You go,
exactly.
boy.
Exactly. So it gets out of hand. If you ever do my show, you'll see it gets out of hand. But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's kind of had a couple of drops in his career. I mean, it's just that WFAN never did it. You know, that wasn't his style.
If I would have been working there, I'm putting that in my contract.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot
my
of
drops. Drops are
The only
mandatory.
drop might have been me. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else.
Oh, I could just imagine water disaster.
A lot of that. A lot of water disaster. Been a lot of that, boys.
Right, but seamlessly, let's get back into the basketball. So, as a Knicks fan, I'm actually really excited because not only have we've been doing great this year, and Jalen Brunson is a superstar and everything, but now we're in the midst of this playoff run against the Heat and Miami Heat, and and I don't know about you guys, but it's taking me back to the '90s of when I couldn't stand Alonzo, and I just wanted him to crush him.
Tim Hardaway, those guys.
Glenn Rice, those guys.
Oh my God, it's giving me those vibes again, and so you know, and ironically, Pat Riley is both in.
Of course.
Dan Marley. How much did you love Dan Marley? Too?
Oh yeah, Dan Marley.
Don't forget him.
PJ Brown.
Look, we got the better of them in the 1 year that I will say, '97, with the disaster with the bench incident when everybody got suspended and we blew the 3-1 lead, and that was very difficult to take. But they played them every year from '97 to 2000, and after '97, won the series every year. They won in '98, in 5. They won it when they were playing 3 out of 5 in the first round. They won it in '99. The Allen Houston shot up and down when they were the 8th seed. They wound up going to the finals that year. And then in 2000, in this round that they're playing in now, the second round, and they beat Alonzo and company in Game 7 in Miami when Ewing just schooled Alonzo in the last 5 minutes of that game. You know, and then of course they lost to him with LeBron.
Yeah,
with the Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony team.
Right, yeah.
But you know, they weren't beating that team. They lost in 5.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Yeah, they had like the Monstars from Space Jam.
Chris Bosh.
Yeah, they had everybody. So they were doing it to everybody.
Oh my God! Matter of fact, when we went to sushi for my birthday dinner a couple of days ago, I don't know why, but they had to replay the Ray Allen shot against the Spurs.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Second championship for Miami.
Like I don't know why
it's one of the great shots of all time.
I understand that, but I also need you guys to realize that easily took 3 years off of my life because I was talking my shit. I happened to be in Miami when that happened.
For the Spurs?
Well, yeah, I fucking hate Miami, of course.
I don't love the Spurs either. But
I was rooting for the Spurs because Tracy McGrady was on that team, and I wanted him just so bad to get one ring because he wasn't going to get it in
I remember that.
In Houston.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get it in Houston, but also I became a big Kawhi Leonard fan at that point too. I thought he was doing good.
Yeah. Well, he won that championship with Toronto and then couldn't wait to leave. See, that would be fine with Rodgers. Like, we win the Super Bowl this year.
He'll get a statue. He'll get a statue.
Like I said, go in the dark hole for a while.
He wins the Super Bowl for you guys.
Right, we'll get him the dark hole.
The statue's in front of MetLife. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, the statue will be in Beningo's basement.
We'll start a GoFundMe
for that.
Yes. Woody doesn't want to pay for it.
There you go. Right.
I love it.
Yeah, but going back to the Knicks and the Heat. So, like I said, I feel like it's kind of reigniting the fire from the '90s. I mean, how do you guys feel about it as well?
I agree, and you could tell both teams really want it.
Oh,
they're playing tough. We can only hope for Jimmy to stay out. Right? And
you know what? No, you say that, and look how close they came to beating him without Jimmy in Game 2. They were life and death. I mean, this team. Here's the thing with the Heat. In my mind, this is the best organization in the NBA. You got Pat Riley running the show. You got Eric Spoelstra, who I think is one of the few coaches in the league that makes a difference.
Agreed.
I learned to respect him because I remember in the beginning I was like, "Who's this loser?"
He was a puppet. He seemed like a puppet.
Exactly. But
he learned under Pat. He learned under Pat. You know. And
he definitely was groomed low.
Yes. But I think he's one of the best coaches. And look at the job he's done. Look at the coaching job so far in this series. I mean, they're packing it in on Brunson, right? Brunson's having, first in Game 1, he had trouble getting in the paint. He had 3 guys on him. They're playing this 2-3 zone, and they've had some issues with it because the Knicks are not a great three-point shooting team.
we're not.
Even though they shot it well in game 2.
Yeah.
You know, Brunson had a big game, 6 for 10. Hart. I love Josh Hart. How good is he?
Me too.
He had a big game.
We got to bring him back for sure.
Oh yeah, they got to pay. Oh no, there's no question about it, 100%. But and they got all these three-point shooters. These
Too
guys.
many shots.
Oh my
Too much.
God!
Yes, that's their style.
They kill you with these. They got 6-7 guys that could hit them. It's crazy.
I mean, that's the way they play it. I mean, the X factor for you guys is R.J.
I
Barrett,
was just
in my
gonna say
opinion.
that.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be.
Exactly, because every time he's playing, I don't know which RJ Barrett we're going to get. It's always one or the other with him. He's either going to have a hell of a game or he's going to stink it up. It's one or the other. There's no middle ground.
He didn't play well in the first 2 games against Cleveland.
No.
But after that, he's been good. He's been going to the basket. You saw game 2 here against Miami. He was the guy early in the game. He scored like 18 points in the first quarter and a half.
Yeah.
So he got them he got them off and running while we're waiting for Brunson and Randall to really get it warmed up. And I'm going to say this too because I don't love Julius Randle, but they absolutely have to have Julius Randle to win this series.
Yes,
there's no question about it.
He's the other guy that's got it.
Yes.
He has to show
Yep.
up. If Randall
Yep.
has an off night and Barrett has an off night, it's like Brunson can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Knicks have to take advantage. I mean, imagine if Miami had Hero and Oladipo healthy right now.
Yeah.
That's
I
tall
don't see the
order.
Knicks winning that.
And a Kyle Lowry at 100% because he's not still 100%.
Well, he had a good
Yeah.
game in game 1, man. Kyle Lowry, he was the best Villanova guy on the floor. And he was better than Brunson and he was better than Hart in that game.
he was.
Lowry was terrific. Look, to me, this series, I actually feel I'm more concerned about this series than I feel better if they're playing Boston or Philly. If they get to Boston or Philly, I feel pretty good about it. I'm worried about this. This team is a dangerous team, Miami.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I told you this worries me. Okay, as the Knick historian I am. They've never won a playoff series when they lost game 1 at home. They're 0-7 lifetime, and that concerns me. Remember they lost to the Hawks 2 years ago, they lost game 1 at home. 10 years ago, when they lost to Indiana in the second round, the team with Carmelo and Tyson Chandler and those guys, they lost game 1 at home. So that concerns me. They have to get back to New York, no worse than 2-2. You got to get one here, get back 2-2 to the Garden, and if they do that, I think they can win this in 7. Yeah. I think it's going to go 7, though.
I think it's going to go 7.
I think it's going to go 7 too.
Now this is a little bit off topic, but it's still staying with the realm of basketball. So, as you know, I'm a big fan of your show. I listen to every single episode of the podcast. It's great. All the Pain podcast is available on all streaming platforms. I remember a while back, especially I think it was sometime after COVID. Like you went on this rant where it was like you were wondering why these coaches are not dressed up in suits and ties anymore.
I hate that.
Yeah, but the thing is that like if that's the case, you want the old coaches in football to dress in the suits and the
That's not
Holmes
football.
hats,
Football is different. Football is outside. Football is an outside sport. The NBA's played inside. Okay, I want to see guys dress. Pat Riley, Chuck Daly, Isaiah Thomas. As bad as he was as a coach, man, he could dress, man. And that's what this is the NBA. We're not in some rec league where I got to see my head coach, wearing what I got on now. I mean,
especially if they got a dad bod too.
That's all part of it to me. That's part of the mystique of coaching in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
There's a lot of things. I got a lot of issues with the NBA now. I mean, on the court and off the court, which I don't want to get into all of that. Yeah. But so I got some issues with it. That's one of them. I think there's too much of the 3-point shot. I think it hurts. I mean, 50 3-point shots a game. It's too much live and die. I see guys go out. You'll see a 2-on-1 fast break, and the guy's going to the basket and he throws it out to the guy.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
He started the trend.
Right.
He's got high school kids shooting half court shots.
Pulling up from half court. Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Steph Curry now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's no more.
That's what it is.
The low post center is dead. There's no such thing. The days. I grew up when I was watching the NBA. If you didn't have a big center, you couldn't win. Right. It was Russell. It was Chamberlain. It was Kareem. It was Willis. It was guys like Nate Thurman, Wes Unseld. The last really big time low post center we had was Shaq. Shaq's the last one.
Yeah,
which is 20 years ago now.
Well, Embiid is a little bit of a throwback, but he can shoot. That's what I'm saying.
He's much more of a hybrid type guy. He plays on a perimeter too much.
But that's the way that they're developing the big men in college and even overseas.
No, I totally get it. I understand.
I think that the game and the evolution of the training for the game has evolved, which is you're not going to get that anymore. You're not going to get your big has to be able to shoot.
And I totally get that, and that's one of the problems I have. And another problem I have is the defense. I mean, can we play? Come on. Can we touch? You got to let the guys play some physical basketball. Watching over the years, growing up. first with the bad boy Pistons, a little before you guys.
They were bad.
But first,
They were bad. They were literally
I've seen
bad.
a lot of
I watched that 30 for 30.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
bro, there was no holds barred. I mean, the series against the Celtics, man, they're clotheslining Larry Bird. That's where nobody's getting suspended for it. Bill Laimbeer is knocking him down, and he's not even getting a technical foul for it. Maybe he's getting that. That's about it. Even when they played the Bulls, even when they moved into when Jordan, came into the scene and the Jordan rules and all that, how they played physical against him. And even our team, the Knicks of the '90s, played the same way. It was all every game was a tooth extraction. Every game was 75-70 or whatever, right? And you know what? I just think there's not enough defense in the league anymore. I really do. These are my gripes anyway.
Well, that especially with the defense, I can attest to that. That's not just in basketball. I mean, you look at football, and again,
they want scoring, but you still need defense to win, though.
But the way that it's officiated with those particular sports, that's mandated by the league.
That's true.
They want more points. They want more points. They want more action because they don't want to see a 75-75 game. They want to see a 140 game to 140.
I get that.
That's what they want. That's what they want.
I get that.
That's the way they're
And the officiating is horrible, especially
the
NFL.
Yes.
The NFL officials
NFL's
are
the
a
worst.
disaster.
NFL is the worst.
No question.
Don't get me started on that.
question about it.
What's a catch?
And I hate replay.
Do you know what a catch is? I still don't know what a catch is.
I think we're rewriting it every season.
I hate replay, by the way. I really do. I am so tired of replay because they don't even get it right all the time with the replay, do they?
It could be so much better. Like the whole the streamlining of quick replay or whatnot. I love that idea.
Right.
But they still screw that up. You'll have a guy who dropped it. You have a whole office in Mount Laurel and another office somewhere in New York that have 55 damn high definition TVs, and you still screw it up.
Right.
And if I throw the challenge flag, I get docked a timeout. That makes no sense.
I tell you,
makes no sense.
It's funny because we watch the game at home, and this is another thing that kills me about the NFL. I love the NFL, and believe me, more than any. But it's the one sport I could never live without. Let me put it that way, okay? But what I was going to say was, you watch these guys and how it's officiated, and it's become now they got the rules experts. I got to see Gene Steratore. I got to see Mike Pereira. You know what? I'm watching football since like 1961. I know what this is, and I know what that is, and I don't need Steratore to tell me. And how many times do I have to see the replay before I know what the hell happened, right? You know the call.
Agreed.
How many times I see it? 75 times?
You have no idea how much money I would pay to see you go up in Gene Steratore's.
I would love to get
Oh, my God.
Steratore, Pereira, Dean Blandino, any of those guys.
Matter
Bring
of
them
fact,
on.
I'll take even a step further. I would give you my whole life insurance to you getting in a room with Woody and Christopher Johnson.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
I'd love to see that too.
I don't think it would be that bad. I think if they because I have talked to Woody in the past when they were, and this is one of the big mistakes that I made, and I got to say this for myself. Not that it was, because of me, but when they wanted to put the stadium in Manhattan, on the west side of Manhattan, okay, I was against it, okay, because, you couldn't tailgate,
right.
It was going to be difficult to get in, whatever it may be. But I look, and I actually would talk to Woody Johnson. Actually called. This is true too.
Oh, wow.
I got a call from Woody. He's trying to explain to me.
That's an exclusive.
He was trying to explain to me, why we need this stadium here. Well, I look back on it, he was right, because one of the big issues the Jets have, and this has been forever, really, even when they were in Shea Stadium, is they've never had their own stadium.
Right.
They're still, in my mind, playing in Giant Stadium. I don't care how green you make it on game day. I don't care about the Ring of Honor you put up and all that nonsense. I'm still playing in Giant Stadium.
It's not even a real building to me. It looks like an oversized AC unit.
It's terrible. The other place was better. The old Giant Stadium was a great stadium. This place, not even close. Not even close.
Right.
Not even close.
If it was up to you, you would have a stadium in Queens where it should be, right?
They should. Here's what I would love to see: Steve Cohen buy the team.
Yeah.
Move it to right across. They could get rid of all the chop shops next to Citi Field.
Right.
Yes.
Put the stadium there. You can call it Leon Hess Stadium after Leon, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. Joe Namath Stadium, whatever you want to call it.
That'd be dope.
And we'd have our own freaking stadium. You put a statue of Joe Namath outside.
Yes.
You put a statue of Rodgers after he wins this Super Bowl.
That's
right.
Nice.
And it's our place, right?
Agreed.
And that's a problem. I really think that it's really been one of the issues why this team hasn't won for 55 years. I mean, there's an identity crisis with the Jets. They're clearly the second-class citizen to the Giants in this area. There's no question about it. As we're talking about it, I think there's more Cowboy fans here than Jet fans. It's close.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
It's
we
close.
mentioned it. No, for sure.
Now, I don't know if you guys agree with this assessment, especially since you said you'd spoken to Woody before. I feel
Just
like,
that one time.
Okay, so
When he was trying to push me on the stadium.
It looked nice though. Did you see how they?
I wish we had it
nice.
now. It would have been our place.
Right. So I kind of get the sense that Woody, he can care less. He's just a billionaire. He owns the team because he can. Simply that. I feel like Christopher Johnson, though. I feel like he actually does care and does want to win. The only problem is he's just an incompetent owner. I mean, I don't know if
I think Woody wants to win, but I don't think Woody's always known how to go about the right way of winning.
Right.
And I definitely think it's working out this time because Woody's definitely into the star power thing. Even when they brought for the ridiculous time they brought Tim Tebow in for no reason. I
forgot all about that.
To get a buzz.
I wish I could forget it.
Jersey sales. Terrible time. I remember when Tim Tebow beat the Steelers right in that playoff.
In the playoffs, yeah.
Denver.
The
late Demarius Thomas passed away.
Rest in peace.
Caught that touchdown.
And ironically, who was the offensive coordinator of the Denver team?
Who?
Adam
Gase.
And McDaniels was the coach, wasn't he?
I believe so.
No.
Was it?
Wasn't he the coach?
I think it was John Fox.
Was it?
Yes.
I think it was
No,
John
it was Fox. It was Fox.
Okay.
It was Fox.
So I remember after that game, we all knew he was leaving.
Gage was definitely the coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all knew he was leaving the Broncos right after that. And, I'm talking to my buddy. He's like, it'd be funny if you went to the Jets. I'm like, there's no way the Jets are picking up this guy at quarterback. This guy's a tight end. Come on.
Right.
He's an athlete, but he is not a quarterback. And we got him. I was...
You know something, though? I felt this. I really do. I don't think... Look, that 1 year in Denver, they made the playoffs. They won a playoff game, okay? And he was finding ways to win football. He beat us that one time.
I
Remember that Thursday night game?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gosh.
Anyway, okay. I don't think any team or a coach had the balls to build their offense around what Tebow does well. And I think that there was something with him. And I think he got blackballed out of the league, just like Kaepernick got blackballed out of the league.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think so did Tebow. I do.
Well,
I really think
part
that.
of it, too, I mean, I agree with that point to a degree. But my issue with Tebow, and I saw this after probably like his first year, I'm like, he can't do the main three things that you got to do as a quarterback. You got to be able to read coverages, throw people open, and actually run an NFL pro-style offense. He can't do all three. If you're a backup quarterback, at minimum you can do two. You can do 2 out of 3. Tebow,
Did he really ever get a fair shot at doing it, though? I mean, did he have the right coaching to say, okay, this is how we're going to run our offense for Tim? I mean, just like
I don't think the ability was there.
Well, let me say
this.
this: you look at, and I don't want to compare Lamar Jackson to Tebow, but the Ravens have built their offense around what Lamar Jackson does well.
He's steadily improved though as a thrower.
Okay,
I never saw that trajectory with Tebow.
But how much of a chance did he get? He basically played 1 year, really, as the starter. That was it.
But his mechanics were so
I
shot.
get it. I get it.
There's so much film of him trying to throw like an out route, and it's just like it's like him throwing a bowling ball. It was awful.
He was hitting the cheerleaders on the side.
Yes.
Your youngest daughter could throw a better ball than
Yes. Yes.
He did find ways to win, though. He did have a little something.
He did.
It just wasn't sustainable.
I think it was Jesus on his side.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, he's a big Christian. Shout out to Tim Tebow.
There you go. I know he is.
Urban Meyer got the best out of him.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Urban Meyer.
He was one of the great college quarterbacks of all time.
Urban Meyer's coaches got a good out
not
of him.
NFL.
Yes, exactly.
He's one of the great college players of all time.
True.
Tebow.
Absolutely.
He's up there.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Oh, so was Johnny Manziel.
So was Johnny.
Exactly.
Johnny Manziel had some issues though. Johnny Manziel had issues, unfortunately. For him.
He was too concerned about living the lifestyle. Like,
Right.
Can you imagine if he got drafted by a big city team like LA or New York? It would have been even more.
Who drafted him? Cleveland?
Yeah.
Right.
Jerry Jones wanted him. If it was up to
you're right.
If that's not proof that he doesn't run the draft, I don't know what it is. Because
didn't they take Zach Martin?
We took Zach Martin.
That worked out pretty good. He got a Hall of Fame offensive line.
Exactly. Will McClay and Stephen Jones flat out on draft day because Jerry wanted to hand the card, and they was like, "Dad, no." We're not drafting him. We're drafting the offensive lineman. And you look at Johnny Manziel, he's shooting sprint commercials now.
Yeah. He was in Canada for a while.
Yeah.
Is he shooting sprint commercials?
No, I was just.
In China.
Maybe he is. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Why? Yeah. Oh man, so it's pretty weird how we just seamlessly transitioned from basketball to football. And that's why I say
It's
that football's king.
Football's king.
Football's king.
Yeah.
Football's king, queen, and like
Bishop,
Bishop,
Brooke, all the pieces.
king,
yeah.
queen, and prince.
Right. I mean, I don't know how much you're into this, but I know that the three of us are also hockey fans as well. I don't know how much you're into it.
How are we looking tonight?
Okay, so all right, so I do root for the Devils.
My team is on a golf course.
Yeah.
Rangers, I'm guessing.
What?
You wish you could join them.
I wish I could. Yeah.
I like the Stars too. I like the Stars. I like
You like Dallas
the Devils.
Stars?
Yeah. Like I like Madonna growing up. I like the way he played.
Mike Madonna.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because the only reason that I bring that up is because I know that there's been a lot of talk. See, like obviously the Devils have been the better team for decades now than the Rangers, but the Rangers.
Well, that's not true. I mean, not for no. Hold on.
Okay, we're about to start the debate.
It's about to get spicy. It's about to get spicy.
Decades, okay? The Rangers have been pretty good for a while. I know they missed the playoffs for about a 4-year span, but after the 2012 season, the last time, which is I guess the last time the Devils were in the finals and they lost to Colorado.
No, we lost to LA.
The Kings. The Kings.
LA.
Right, that's right. The Rangers lost to the Kings 2 years later.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes.
Since then, they haven't been that good.
No.
Until this year.
Right.
Okay.
This year now they got a legitimate team, obviously now.
Young guys too.
Young guys.
Yeah,
Jack Hughes
yeah.
is terrific.
Yeah.
This goalie. The turning point of the series against the Rangers was going
Jack
to this
Hughes?
kid Schmidt.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Schmidt. We were up 2. We were killing him.
Yeah.
We beat him 5-1 the first 2
What a
games.
series, though.
What
an
a series.
exciting-
I knew it was going to go
What do you
7.
mean?
He doesn't like it.
I
He
had to
doesn't
sit
like
there
it.
and watch. I got to see Adam Fox in Game 7 handing the goddamn puck on a power play to whoever. I think it was Andre Palat. I can't stand that guy.
What about that Trouba hit? On the
Yeah, but
last
it was
game?
over.
Yeah, that was.
I know, but
that was dirty.
By the time
That was
Truman made
dirty.
that hit, it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
True.
but here's the original point that I was trying to get at. So, since this has been a Ranger town for a very long time,
Right.
it like the fact that
It always will be, too.
I know, I understand that. Just like the Giants will always be over the Jets.
And the Yankees over the Mets.
Exactly. So,
And the Knicks over the Nets.
right. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. You're a Net fan, too?
No. Okay, funny
hierarchy,
story.
okay.
So I grew up a Bulls fan, Michael Jordan.
Everyone did.
Right?
In
No,
that
not
era. In
everyone.
that era.
No.
So
No, I
actually-
had no love for Michael Jordan.
I
Although I
actually-
have a lot more respect for him now than I did when he was beating the
All right,
shit out of
yeah.
my team
He's
as a
beating
player.
everybody. So
Okay.
I grew
I
up.
can say shit, right?
I grew up a Nets
It's
fan.
his show.
High
It's
school.
his show, not mine.
Is that right? I swear.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can, man. This is,
I said fuck earlier. I don't
Oh, you
know.
did? Okay, I missed it.
so I grew up, Bulls, and I like the Nets because I used to get
Right.
free tickets to go to the Nets games. They were
Right.
terrible. Derek Coleman, Kenny Anderson days.
But they weren't terrible. They were
No,
okay.
they were all right. They were all right.
Continental Airlines Arena.
Continental. Like that Brendan
Chris
Burns.
Morris.
Oh yeah, good times.
Nice.
But when they moved to Brooklyn, I was like, yeah, let's go Knicks.
I tell you what, I
all
will
right.
say I'm a Knicks fan, like I said, since the early '60s. But I never disliked the Nets. I mean, even when they were in the ABA with Dr. J, they winning the championships then. I rooted for them when the Jason Kidd years when they were in the
Good times.
finals.
Yeah,
couple
Yeah,
times.
those are
Vince
good teams.
Carter,
Those are good
Kenny
teams.
Martin.
Yeah, those are good teams.
Yeah, Kenny Martin,
It's
Keith
not that I
Van
like them,
Horn,
it's that I
Gary
respect
Kittles,
them.
Richard Jefferson.
Good
It
times.
was a good teams. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
And it would have been nice
Byron
to slay.
Scott.
And it would have been
coach.
nice to slay a dragon like the Lakers. That would
Oh,
have been a
man.
good
Oh,
But
yeah.
the
They
Lakers,
stand a chance.
the year they lost to the Lakers were far better.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I understand that, but I'm
But they
just
had a
saying.
shot to beat the Spurs.
They did.
Yes.
They did have a chance against San Antonio. They lost that 5th game at what was the game? Was it Game 4 they lost at home when they wore the old
I was at that game.
net uniforms?
Jeez.
That was a killer.
That was a
And they almost won Game 6 in San Antonio. That's right, because it was 2-3. That's right. It was Game 5 because back then they did the 2-3-2.
Yeah.
So the 3 middle games were home.
By the
3,
way,
4, and 5.
Jason Kidd should have won MVP that season.
Oh God.
He got robbed.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
You're talking about 2002.
Yeah,
Tim
when Tim Duncan won it.
Oh, that was
My
a joke.
goodness, it was
How did
terrible.
Jason Kidd not win that
Right,
MVP?
right.
The Nets they won the division. They were 52-30. They had the best record in the East.
Right.
Kidd, they were a different team with Kidd. How did Kidd? They gave it to Tim Duncan.
I think it's because of where he played. I think if he was a Knick, I think he would have won it.
Nah, Kidd should have
think
won
so.
that. Kidd should have won that. Yeah,
He should have. No, he should have. I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I just said that I think he was chastised
that was-
for being a net. That's what I'm saying. If
That
he
was
played for a bigger
as
market,
big
he
a
would have
hosing
won.
as Albert Bell not winning the MVP in 1995 when he gave it to Mo Vaughn. So I mean,
wow.
I don't even want to.
Take it
Don't
all
even
the way
get me
back.
started there.
Mo
but that-
Power.
I was a
remember
freshman
that
in high
guy.
school. I remember that.
No,
But
no.
Jason Kidd should have won.
He
the
should
MVP.
have.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
But let me get back to the point that I was trying to get to originally. So now the discussion is not so much about the Devils, moving on, but it's about how bad the Rangers collapse. So my question to you is like, they just go through a revolving doors of coaches. I mean,
No, you can't get rid of Gallant.
That was
No. They dump coaches more than the Jets do.
Yes.
I mean, you look. Here's all I tell this to people who, this is all you need to know about the Rangers. The cup they won in 1994. Mike Keenan was the coach, and that's the only year he coached the team. He was.
nuts.
He was.
That's
That's it.
nuts.
They
That's
put
nuts.
him in. He won the cup. He got in a fight with. He got in a one of these personality clashes with the GM Neil Smith. Neil Smith won it, and Keenan was gone. And look at all the guys. They had Tortorella, right? Then they had Alain Vigneault. They went to the finals with Vigneault. They got rid of him. They brought in that guy David Quinn. They got rid of him. Now you got Gallant, and you're going to dump him now? I mean, come on. I mean, the guy, 2 years, say whatever you want. They're a good team. All right.
Yeah.
Last year they went to the conference finals.
Right.
This year, what are you going to do? I mean, they're in the playoffs. They lost a tough 7-game series to the Devils. The Devils were a better team. They had 107 points this year. I'm not going to go dump the coach now.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
And but let me just say this too: the Rangers, Chris Drury, and has not come out yet. The GM and given him the vote of confidence that he's coming back, which is ridiculous. What are they waiting for? I mean, they better not fire him. To me, that's a bad move.
Yeah, I
Bad
agree.
move.
You need continuity.
You do.
Exactly.
At
You
some
do.
point. At some point.
All right, well, we're having so much fun. I just noticed the clock. Like,
Fun.
Yeah, but
They throw you out at 9 o'clock. What?
pretty much. I like to have clock integrity. Just me personally.
Well, that's what I mean. But you got a lot of integrity, bro. It's not just clock integrity.
I appreciate that.
No, you do.
Yeah. So, but since we have Hugo here, I wanted to give him an opportunity to kind of do a little bit of a segment that he does on his show, kind of like cross promotion, first class, second place, also for U-GoBoy podcast. I think it's actually. I'm looking forward to this. I would actually like to see your rapid fire segment with the one and only Joe Beningo here.
Oh,
Rapid
wow.
fire. You gonna do that now?
Some rapid fire. Can I get a
Yes.
Yahtzee? Can I get a Yahtzee?
Right. Give me a Yahtzee. We got 6 minutes. Let's go. The clock is ticking. No timeouts
there
in
we
this.
go. There
We don't
we
get
go.
no 2-minute warning here.
Right.
All right.
Should we include Carlos in this? Why not?
Yeah, sure,
Oh,
sure.
let's get everybody in here.
Okay, so we got a couple. There we go.
Oh,
There
that
we
was
go.
nice.
Shout out to Marv on the boards as always. All right, so we'll do a couple. All right, so favorite Jets coach of all time for both of you guys. Jets coach.
Well, I mean, to me, it's got to be Reed because he won me the Super Bowl.
For me, in my lifetime, it's only been Rex. I mean, I just got to go with Rex.
Rex Ryan all day.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite Jets player of all time.
It's got to be Joe Willie for me. Joe Namath, no question.
I've actually mentioned this on your show, and for me, it's Wayne Corbett.
Yeah, no gloves.
No
gloves.
Curtis Martin.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Love Curtis Martin.
Is he in the hall?
Oh,
Did he
yeah.
get in?
Yeah, Curtis is in.
Yeah.
Curtis is in. Yes.
Nice. All right.
And shout out to Joe Klecko, who's finally got
Yeah,
in.
fine.
Yes.
Darrell Revis, too. Revis
Yes.
going in as well.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
As a
nice.
Jet, most importantly.
No, he is a Jet. He is a Jet.
All right.
He's a mercenary patriot.
For hire.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Best Jets offensive lineman of all time.
Best Jets offensive lineman of all time. That's an interesting thing. I'm going to say it's DeBrickashaw Ferguson. DeBrickashaw Ferguson played every down of every game in his 10-year career for the Jets, and I think the only play he ever came out, I think, was some kind of fake field goal or
Right,
something.
yeah.
So to me, that's on. Look, to me, the greatest ability is availability.
Agreed.
He was a 4-time Pro Bowler. I think it's DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Okay.
Brick.
Okay.
Brick.
Brick for you too.
Brick for me.
Brick's number 2 for me. I'm gonna go Kevin Mawai.
Okay. I like that one.
Love
Like
Kevin
that one.
Mawai, Hall of Famer.
Loved him.
Yep.
Loved him.
That's a great
all-time
one.
great.
I thought someone was gonna go with Nick Mangold.
He's
It's close.
He's my third.
It's close.
He's close, but the thing of what I love about Nick Mangold is that he's still very much involved
He
with
is.
the Jets
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
day.
Good barbecue sauce too. You gotta try it.
Ooh,
I
yes.
got yeah.
Mangold would be
nice,
in the
nice.
conversation.
Yeah.
for
By
sure.
the way, real quick, since I know you
That's
love,
what Mawai is, he said.
real quick, I know that you love Sauce Gardner. He's also actually a musician. He actually has a song called
Called Sauce Gardner. Juice versus Sauce.
Sauce
Sauce
I like it,
Gardner.
by the way. I heard it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So quick story about that.
Win me the Super Bowl and I'll sing it for him.
Nice. He'll
Let's
rap
go.
it. He'll rap it.
for that.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
we win the Super Bowl, Benigno will rap.
Oh, he's gonna rap juice versus sauce.
Come on, let's go, Aaron.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I shared the song on Instagram in my story, and Sauce checked it out.
Nice.
He watched
Oh,
it.
really?
So
Did
yes, yes, he did.
That's
All
cool.
right,
He has Salah's number. Make sure that he tells Sauce about it.
I will. Now I know. Awesome. How much more time? Yeah, 4
We got
minutes.
4 minutes,
4
yeah.
minutes. All right, you guys, a couple more. All right. Well, since he's a Yankee fan, we'll just make it blanketed baseball.
You can say whatever,
All right.
Yankees, whatever. Talk about the Yankees.
Favorite Subway Series moment?
Oh,
There hasn't been a lot of good ones.
no.
Let me put it. It's probably. I guess it's got to be the first Subway Series game when Dave Malicki went into Yankee Stadium in 1997 and shut him out 6-0. I guess that's got to be it for me.
That's specific. I like it.
Yeah.
For me, sorry to bring you guys pain for this one, but I forget the name of the player for the Mets that he dropped the ball.
Oh yeah, Luis Castillo.
Luis
There
Castillo.
you
Get
go.
that.
Oh my
Please.
God! Because I loved it because I remember I was with my
What a
cousins.
disaster.
I was with my cousins.
It was bad.
I was with my cousins who are diehard Mets fans, and already they were saying, "Put it in the books, put it in the books," and then he drops it, and then I got the last laugh. So that was my
You got the last laugh, all right.
Mine was just getting to the Subway Series.
2000.
Yeah.
Even though we got our ass handed
Yeah,
to us.
just getting. You know what? I was. I don't know. I felt like we had a legit chance because we had a good squad, but I didn't care. I was just happy we got there.
Game
it was
one
a
was the
while.
killer. We lost game one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we had the lead. Benitez blowing it. You know, it was don't even.
Just getting there was.
For me, it was Jeter in the clincher. He went off. I think he hit 2 home runs in that game.
Well, remember after we won Game 3 and it was 2-1 now. Remember he led off Game 4 at Shea Stadium with a home run with
Yep.
Bobby
Yeah.
Jones.
Oh,
Right,
man.
right.
Pain.
I think he took out Lighter Deep in that the clincher. Yeah.
I think so,
Sorry, guys.
No, it's pain.
That
Line
This was the night.
Outline, you got going.
You got going. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, I had 2 more minutes. I got a couple more. All right. Okay, the 69 Jets or the 86 Mets, if you could only choose one.
I got to take because football's number one. I got to take the Jets. You know, I got to take that. As much as I love the Mets, and you know, I got a real good opportunity. I went to a couple World Series games in '86. I was at the Bill Buckner game.
Oh,
You were there.
I was there.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I still got to take my football team. You know.
You were at the Buckner
I was.
game.
I was there.
That's historic.
Yep.
Rest in peace,
I was
Bill
also
Buckner.
at Game 3 in Boston when Lenny Dykstra led off that game against Dennis Oil Cam Boyd with a home run, and we won the game, I think 4-0 or 4-1 to get back in the series. We were down 2-0. So I was also at that game at Fenway. So I went to a couple World Series games that year.
Nice.
It was cool.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, I gotta go for. I wasn't alive for either one, so I might as well go for the '69 Jets.
For sure.
No, scratch that. I was 5 months old when the Mets won the World Series.
Okay,
And
so
I
you're on this earth.
Yeah, I just turned 30. I just turned 37 2 days ago.
You were here.
Yeah, I was in second grade when the Mets won, and I was living in Queens at the time.
Oh,
Mets.
I'm guessing it was nuts down there.
Oh man, forget it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's it for me. You got 1 minute to wrap, so all right.
Yeah, I mean, favorite Sinatra song by any chance?
Oh,
Favorite
yeah.
Sinatra song has to be Summer Wind. The summer wind
Nice.
Can you sing it for
came
us?
blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there and touched your hair and called to me. All summer long we sang a song and then we strolled that golden sand. 2 sweethearts and the summer wind. I'll stop there because it's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on First Class Second Place. Thank you so much. Shout out to U-Go. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to the great Joe Beningo.
Thank
Shout
you,
out
guys.
to all of you
Appreciate
for coming out here. Real quick, where
a
can
lot
you
of
find you
fun.
guys on social media real quick?
Carlos, Instagram at Carlos Financial Coach on Instagram.
U-GoBoy 88 on everything. That's where you can find the podcast on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, so forth and so on. U-GoBoy 88 and u-goboy.com.
And with me, just talk to my daughter Erin, and she'll tell you all that. That's all out of my realm. I'll say that.
_real_ Joe Beningo
Thank
on
you.
Instagram.
So you
and
even
on
know.
Twitter.
You know better than I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job, Jason. Appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
You're welcome, man. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to the audience.
That was great. A lot of fun, man.
Yeah, go stream U-Go Boys. Go stream Below the Pain podcast. Shout out to Carlos. Thank you for coming through. I'm glad that I was able to have this opportunity for you, man.
Thank you, man.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you for the
man.
invite.
You're welcome. And,
Pleasure. Super fun.
Thank you. Shout out to my lovely co-host Ashley Lazoo. Again, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Ashley.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at JasonEnrique _ on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget to follow the First Class Second Place podcast page on Instagram as well. This has been the First Class Second Place podcast. We out.
Good stuff.
All right, man.
Good stuff.